Thanks for joining us today. I'm Gabe Garrish, owner of Backwoods Pursuit, and today we're going to continue our Sitka layering system review with a look at the Sitka Jetstream Jacket. This is an extremely popular jacket from Sitka featuring their Gore-Tex Infinium windstopper. It's a great product. Wanted to go over though how it performed for me over the last couple of years of testing. Been looking at and testing all of the Sitka gear over the last couple of years. So I wanted to bring you my results, how these pieces performed in different situations as we use them out in the field. Help you decide as you put together your kit what's going to be needed and what you don't need when you're putting together and building your own kit. So the Sitka Jetstream Jacket, here's what we're looking at. As always, we really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Put links to that down in the description, as well as a link to our website, backwoodspursuit.com, a ton of other gear reviews, and I'll put a link to the Jetstream for you so if you want to check it out for yourself. Let's dive into this review. All right, so the Sitka Jetstream Jacket. This is a soft shell jacket, and it has their Gore-Tex Infinium. It's a membrane throughout the whole piece that is a fantastic wind stop. And we'll go over that a little bit more in a second here, but it is designed to basically eliminate the wind factor, because wind can absolutely cut right through you, and I experienced that here in a recent hunt where I had this jacket on the top over some other base layers. It was in the 20s. Wind was blowing probably 30 or 40 miles an hour. My pants, the Timberline pants, they don't have the Infinium. And even though it wasn't too bad on the bottom half, the Infinium layer on this was just absolutely could tell a difference. And it could really attest to this, the Gore-Tex Infinium product here did its job in cutting the wind. So highly recommend this piece if wind is a frequent issue that you're trying to cut the wind out, because it makes a huge difference in the warmth of a piece. Now what this jacket is, again, it's soft shell. You've got two pockets here, one on either side, and then your typical pockets there for a jacket. It's DWR treated, and it does pretty well in the rain. I really tested this thing in the rain as well. I used this as a rain jacket in some situations where I typically would have taken a rain jacket, but wanted to see how it was going to perform. And rain, spitting rain and snow, and it was just a really wet day. It lasted about 4 hours before it soaked through some just constant rain. So not too bad for a DWR treated. It was just, started getting a little bit wet here in the shoulders on the part of me that was taking the most rain. The rest of it wasn't too bad. So pretty impressive. And I didn't start getting cold necessarily. It was just got a little bit damp on the inside. So that was about the limit of this jacket. So if it's something where you think you might get some, spitting some rain here and there, a rainstorm might blow through, this can be easily used as your rain protection piece, and it's super durable as well. But it's not a rain jacket, it's not waterproof. So if you're really in some heavy rain or day after day or more than a day of rain, you definitely want to take something else that's going to be a true rain jacket. Warmth wise, it's pretty warm, but it's not really warm. It's a soft shell after all. It's just lined here, you can see. It's got kind of a nice low loft, kind of a fleece on the interior. So it definitely adds some warmth, and you definitely feel the warmth from the Infinium, the Gore-Tex Infinium layer, so you're not going to get any of that wind cut through you. The other thing that really helped with this is the pit zips here. I found myself really loving the pit zips on here on both sides, but this is what they're calling an active hunt type of a jacket. So if you are hiking a lot, but the temperatures are cold, you can really utilize this jacket to its fullest. Utilize those pit zips if you're really starting to hike. It dumps that heat out of your armpits and really keeps you going. And I found that that's really what worked awesome for me when I was using this jacket. It was, times when it was in the 20s and I was, hiking, you can open those pits up and I didn't have to shed the jacket. It was enough to ventilate. So when I went to sat down, I wasn't overheated. I wasn't sweating on the inside and whatnot, but then didn't need to layer up when I sat down either. Just zip those pit zips back up and it was good to go. Now again, it's not super warm though. So don't buy this thinking that it's going to be like an insulation piece like that Aerolite that we looked at, or an insulation piece like that. It's not as warm as that, but it has a different purpose and a different functionality. It's far more durable, and it's even a little quieter. It has a little bit of noise to it, but I did use this during archery season as an outer layer as well, and it was great that way. Now weight on this is about 25.5 ounces for a large, so it's again not a lightweight piece, whereas that Aerolite is 16 ounces and it's warmer than this. Totally different functionality and totally different piece. That Aerolite is something that I layered underneath this that worked really, really well. So you have not only the advantageous part of the Aerolite insulation, then you have the wind stopper of this. This piece features and a little bit extra warmth here. That's a fantastic combination to get you deep into some of the cold temperatures out there. So worked really well that way. It's an articulated fit, so you don't have a whole bunch of bulk in your sleeves or whatnot. But again, this is a size XL. Now, as I mentioned in the Aerolite video, I ended up going with a size XL in all the Sitka jackets, and that was because the jackets are something that I typically want to be able to layer underneath. And to do that effectively, I felt like I needed to size up to the XL with the Sitka jackets. The largest fit, but they were just a little on the snug side for me. As you can see, this fits really well as an XL, but even though all of my base layers are in the size large, they are a little more snug, the size large, but this, as you can see, fits real well for me. It's not overly bulky. I would say that the Jetstream here is cut a little more slim than the Aerolite. And the Aerolite is a standard fit versus this is a performance fit, so it is going to be a little more snug. Because of that, I definitely needed the XL. I tried the large in this first, and it was just too snug around the armpits and the chest and the shoulders, so I definitely needed to size up, and this was actually perfect for me. So a great fit that way. It worked really, really well, and again, it performed really. I ended up using this piece a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. I typically don't love soft shell jackets, but I loved this Jetstream. Even though it's heavier, you know, when the temperatures are really cold, it's just something that was really a benefit to having out there to protect from the snow and the rain and give you that wind stop, because especially when it's cold, if you have that wind out there, it can be really detrimental. So definitely a piece I would recommend depending on the situation and if weight is not of a huge concern to you. As far as best uses for me, like I mentioned, I use this all the way from archery season all the way till late season, just depending on the situation. But primarily, I would say this is going to be your October, November type of a piece where you're putting it over the top of an insulation piece or multiple base layers. But it does work really well in an active hunt as long as it's not too warm. Of course, you're utilizing those pit zips. So I mean, I use this in a full spectrum from archery season all the way till later season. It really worked well that way. So like I mentioned, it's a piece I ended up grabbing more than I thought that I would when I was out there. It just performed really well for me. So yeah, it's not the lightest weight piece at the 25.5 ounces, but you know, it's not so heavy that it's, you know, a huge problem at all either. So kind of depends on the, you know, your uses and what you're going to be needing in a jacket. You may not need this. You may just go straight for a puffy or something like that. Totally fine. That works great too. But it is a piece that works really well for what it's designed to do in wind stop. Almost a rain jacket, but not quite. Super durable, pretty quiet, not totally quiet, but a great active cold weather hunt type of a jacket. So that is the Sitka Jetstream Jacket. Again, I put a link to that down in the description for you. Drop any questions for us in the comment section down there. Happy to answer them for you if we can, get you pointed in the right direction. Thanks for watching here today. We'll see you next time.